Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our beginners junk journal series, episodes in the series, and we are working on this altered book. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with some more of our purchased items. We recently went shopping and we bought some things to use in our journals. And so we're going to use some more of those patterned papers. And we're going to just do kind of another page spread just to kind of hopefully give you some more confidence and, you know, kind of, yeah, just some more confidence really to be able to do some more pages in your journal. So I've got this gorgeous paper here. This is some of the paper that we bought when we went out on our shopping trip. Again, you know, you can use anything that you've got. So, you know, if you went shopping with me and you couldn't get these same papers, that's fine. Use the papers that you got. You might not be doing a vintage style. Use the papers that you've got. And of course, you can always just do the plain coffee dyed paper that we dyed kind of at the beginning of this series. You don't have to even use pattern paper at all. I mean, I just like kind of colour and pattern papers and things. So exactly, you know, do exactly kind of as you fancy, basically. So this paper is double-sided, and as you can see, I've got sort of a polka dot side and a floral side. I mean, to be honest, I love them both. I, you know, don't probably prefer one to the other. So what we'll do is we will make, you know, well, not an advanced pocket as such, you know, if there is such a thing. But we'll kind of try and evolve our style of our pocket and things that we're going to be using. So what I'm going to do is just cut a section from here. Now, again, I don't measure or anything. So, you know, if you're kind of a measuring type person, then, you know, you might prefer to kind of get your tape measure out and kind of measure it out. I like to just kind of do it ad hoc. And, you know, sometimes that's a good thing and sometimes it doesn't work so well. So all I'm going to do is take my you know, double-sided paper, and I can fold that up. Now I have left this on here so that I can gauge how big I want my pocket to be. So I'm just going to come up slightly more like that, and then I'm just going to trim that off, and then obviously I'm going to neaten it up and things in a moment. So that's the foundation for our pocket, and then I can just trim it up down the side to, you know, get it nice and neat and tidy, and that's it. That's going to be my pocket. So I'm going to just, whoops, squish that in. So again, you know, if you haven't got kind of all the tools, if you haven't got the thing called a bone folder, just use your scissor handles. They're going to work just as well. Like that. Now again, if you want to use your sewing machine, if you've got access to a sewing machine and you're happy to use it with your paper, you could now stitch around these three sides here to form your little pocket. If you don't have a sewing machine, or you're not confident using your sewing machine, you know, maybe with paper, or if you're not that confident, you know, sewing your paper with your sewing machine, then of course you can just glue this. So I'm just going to take my glue. Sorry, my daughter borrowed my glue, so I thought I was going mad for a moment because I thought, well, that's strange. I'm sure I saw my glue here just now, but she's up here with me crafting as well, and so she had borrowed it. Right, let me just unclog it because I've not used it for a couple of days. So, oops. Okay. Right, let's just glue down. So obviously I'm just gluing down. Whoops, I've got a huge amount of glue now coming out. I'm just gluing down those two sides. Hopefully you can kind of see there. And we're just going to literally fold it up, and then I'm going to just take my dry wet wipe to smoosh some of that glue out because I had such a lot go in there. Okay, and that's as simple as that is, and that's, you know, that's quite a sort of elegant looking pocket, I think. So, you know, really, really nice pocket there. And like I say, you know, if you want to do the sewing, you can, but you definitely don't have to. I think things look just as good, so, you know, glued as they do stitched. So, did you want to use the glue again, darling? No? Okay. Right, so that's that piece. And then I quite like kind of, you know, marrying things up really. So on the facing page, I might put something else that's going to, you know, look similar to that. So I might just pull in my patterned paper again. And I think even what we could do, in fact, just kind of having a look. We could just do like a little flippy type piece. So I'm going to go in here where I've got that already sort of cut down. Just going to again cut that down like that. Cut that across the top like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just literally fold it over here. I mean, you can mess about sort of trying to make hinges and things with washi tape and, you know, all of those good, you know, good sort of things. Or you can just fold your paper. I mean, obviously it's going to depend on the thickness of your paper. But this is double-sided scrapbook paper. It's reasonably thick. I think we did have a look when we bought it and it might have been 300 GSM or something like that. So it's not flimsy paper. It's going to hold up really well to kind of being folded and what have you. So let's have that like that. I'm just going to kind of smoosh that down, or, you know, hold that down like that for a moment. So we're going to have those like that. So what I think we'll probably do is underneath here, of course, we'll just want to put some details and, you know, some other paper so it's not completely boring. We also made some clusters. So I'm just going to pull in maybe a cluster and let's see what clusters that we have. I mean, to be honest, they all came out really, really nicely, like really pretty clusters. Oh, maybe we will have that cute dog on there, because how sweet is that? I just love it. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist coming over to see the dog. Oh, that's gorgeous, darling. Ah, look. How cute. Right, so we're going to have that like that. And then, I mean, to be honest, I could just even paint this page under here, which would be absolutely fine, because that would give us a really good writing surface there. But, you know, completely up to you. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is going to ink around the pockets that we're going to kind of, or the pocket and the little flip piece that we're going to glue down. So let's just get my ink and we will just go in and just ink around there. Now, again, I mean, if you're a crafter already and you've got lots of tools and things, you might have a corner rounder. You can round the corners, obviously, of your pieces. Because I'm doing a kind of beginner's series here, I'm trying to really go with as basic a sort of style as I can. As basic a style as I possibly can. So I'm trying to use the bare minimum of things. So for instance, you know, I'm not going to use my corner rounder because I'm thinking, you know, perhaps not everybody's got one. And, you know, again, I probably didn't have one of those when I first started doing journals. I can't really remember. I may have had one from, I guess, scrapbooking, but, you know, all of these things, they're kind of nice to have, and you can build your stash as you go. You really don't need to start out having every single thing. You know, there's no pressure to kind of have everything. There's no rules. And to be honest, for most things, you can really get around it without having to buy every single thing, you know. I mean, of course, we all like to, don't we? And we all, you know, we all enjoy buying all these things, but you know, I'm just trying to get across that there's no pressure. You really don't need to be, you know, feeling that you must buy everything. Right. So we were doing this page here. So I'm wondering, so we're having the pocket here on this side and we're having the little flap on this side. We're going to have the little cute cluster there. And I'm just wondering whether I might want to put a little bit of the painted book page that we did. Could kind of just have a bit of that somewhere, maybe even on here, just tear a little piece of that out. I mean, again, it's just kind of layering up really and getting some extra detail on there, which just kind of transforms the page. So I'm going to just glue that in. Now I'm wondering, I might glue this down just because it, you know, it's constantly moving, so it would be quite nice to actually get it glued down in here so that it's not moving anymore. So let's just glue that down like that. So again, just gluing down all over what's, you know, effectively my kind of hinge bit that's going to be there, attaching it to the paper like that. Yeah, that's a bit, weird, isn't it? No. Oh well. Right, so we're just going to stick that down like that, and then let me just pop that on there to help it stick. And then here I'm just going to put that little bit of book page. So I hope you're having fun. If this is your first journal that you're making, you know, and you felt inspired to make one along with me, I hope you're having a really great time. I hope it's, you know, turning out to be something that you really are going to love and treasure. You know, or of course, you know, you may decide that you're going to sell it, and perhaps this is going to be the start of your, you know, your little business or something like that. So either way, I hope that you're just having a really, really great time. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is really this should all be just very, very enjoyable for you. You know, and that's kind of the main object, isn't it, really? To bring you some happiness and, you know, as a lovely kind of pastime to do, really. Okay, right. So we'll just glue that down on there. Again, just kind of getting a bit more interest going on, really. I mean, it wasn't really necessary, but just so it looks something a bit different on that page. So that's like that. Now, I've got the Hessian kind of ribbon stuff that we bought when we went shopping, and we've also got these flowers, which, wow, I nearly forgot about these. And how could I? Because they're so yummy, aren't they? Let me see what other ones I've got, because I think I did copy dye a couple of sheets. Oh, and we've got these as well. So we've got plenty of things here to, you know, fill this with. So again, for speed, I'm going to just glue this down onto this page, and I'm just going to glue it on 3 sides. I'm going to use my hot glue because that's nice and quick, and I, whoops, don't have to worry about it then, you know, not sticking down and things like that. So, I mean, obviously, if I had more kind of time, I would probably have used my wet glue, but because obviously doing a video, I don't want to be constantly having to, you know, press it down and things. I want it to just be instantly dry. So again, you know, I did mention this before, but I mean, a hot glue gun, again, that's a very nice thing to have. But, you know, you can really easily do this without a hot glue gun. You really don't need all of these fancy things. You know, obviously I've been crafting for kind of 14 or 15 years. So, of course, I've grown my stash over the years and grown my supplies and my tools and things. And, you know, like with everything, there's still probably several other things that I probably could add to my wish list. But, you know, that's kind of that's the thing about hobbies, isn't it? They're always kind of growing and evolving. And no matter how much stuff you've got, there's always going to be something else to buy. So you can very easily just get on with what you've got. I forgot that I had that flower there, actually. So I probably don't want this flower here. If I'm honest, but we might just have it kind of up here, or possibly down the bottom of the page, or we could even have this on top of there, just even like to the side. That looks so cute, doesn't it? So let's just do that. And if you you know, didn't see the shopping video, we just bought these flowers. These were just plain white ones, obviously paper, you know, paper flowers. And then all we've done is just coffee dye these. And then the same with these. These were obviously coloured ones rather than white. And again, just coffee dyed them. And don't they just look gorgeous now? You know, they complement everything really well. And they just, you know, bring something really nice to the journal, don't they? Okay, right, so I keep messing about with this dog because I've also got this lace that we bought when we went shopping, and so of course I'd like to have some lace somewhere here. So I'm just deciding, do I want the lace at the top or the bottom? Just going to, oops, cut a bit down. Now when it's this crochet lace, I kind of put my scissors in and just then pull rather than snip, and the lace then just kind of tears, and oh, it just has this gorgeous, gorgeous appearance. So just want to decide, do I want that I mean, I could even have the cluster up the top. I don't have to have it here on the pocket. I think it looks really cute on the pocket, but you know, again, you can really kind of play around and vary it. Right, I think I'm going to have it down there. So I'm going to glue the lace down. So again, I'm going to just use my Fabri-Tac glue. But, you know, when I first started out, I only had my tacky glue. You know, my regular kind of tacky glue. And I would have just used that for everything. So it definitely is, you know, absolutely fine to use. It works perfectly fine. It's just that I guess, you know, like we say, as you kind of progress in your craft, you know, you're going to kind of think, oh, actually, this maybe suits me better, or, you know, this is faster drying or something like that. But, you know, for the time being, your tacky glue is going to be wonderful and, you know, work just as well. Especially as my bottle now has this hole in it, and it's actually causing me more problems probably than when I first started out with my tacky glue. So, yeah. Okay. Right. So we just attach that there like that, and then we're just going to have our little cluster on here. And again, I'm just going to hot glue this down because, you know, it's just really nice and quick. Like that. Okay. I mean, how gorgeous does that page look? And literally, you know, there's nothing complicated there at all. Nothing kind of fancy there. We've just done it very simply, but it looks so, so pretty, doesn't it? So I'm just having another look through the rest of the things that I've got here. And of course, I've got some more of the butterflies and things. So we could kind of cut out a little butterfly. So I might just take this one here, which again, this was a children's colouring book, which I just used this because, or, you know, bought this because I couldn't manage to get any stamps when we went for the shopping trip. And I had really had stamps kind of in mind because I thought they would look really great. Or, you know, they would be really fun and really great to use. But because I couldn't find any, this is my version of kind of an alternative to using stamped images. So just quickly cutting this out like that. I mean, I really like using my stamped images just plain coloured really and coffee dyed. So for me, that looks really great. But I mean, of course, you could obviously colour these in if you wanted and things like that. You don't have to leave them kind of completely plain. So we've put that up there. Now I'm just wondering, do we want any of the Hessian or anything at the top of here? I don't know whether that gives it a bit more of a kind of clunky appearance, which maybe is not, you know, quite what we're going for. Just wondering, did we want that up there? Oh, I'm going to just put the butterfly on here, I think. So, I mean, again, this is really super lazy using hot glue for something like this, but I just, then it's down and I don't have to, you know, worry about it not gluing or not attaching in time or anything like that. So there we go. Oh, that's gorgeous, darling. Really, really pretty. Oh, good idea. Yeah, because she wants to wear clothes, doesn't she? No one wants to be naked, do they? No. Right. Okay. So we're going to pop that down like that. And then I've just got these other little flowers that we bought. No, I don't want to use those. Got these ones that we bought. So again, can just cut out a couple of these little rosebuds. Like this. You know, and we could just kind of layer this up. We could have one kind of here to the side, have one up here at the top. And I might just have that there. I mean, anything really, because you're just trying to make the page look super pretty. You know, that's kind of what it's all about really, is making your page look scrumptious and lovely. So let's just cut this one out. Haven't used any of these big ones yet so far, I don't think, although it's been a couple of days. I mean, hopefully these videos are going up, you know, consecutive order for you guys, but for me, I've obviously been filming this over a couple of weeks, so I've had days where I've not filmed in this journal at all. So yeah, I haven't filmed in it for now a couple of days. I can't really remember what we have used and what we haven't, but I don't think we've used any of these big sprigs. So again, just kind of cut around it best you can, you know, be in flowers. If you need to, you know, alter the shape of them because of the fiddliness of cutting, then just alter the shape of them. Nobody really knows. And if you have like an accident, you know, i.e. like if you just cut a section off by mistake, or, you know, you cut a portion that just now looks really terrible, that's fine. Don't bin it, because what you can do is you can just tuck that behind something, you know. You can tuck it in like off the page or something like that, you know. In the past, I know that I have thrown things away before because I've thought, oh no, you know, I've cut that wrong or I've ruined that. And actually in hindsight, I probably could have used things by just, you know, gluing them in a way that camouflages my error. So, you know, don't be too kind of hard on yourself. Don't be kind of too unforgiving. Just hang on to it and you will eventually find the perfect place that you can use it. So, oops. Oh my goodness, that's the fiddliest part. Right, okay. So this pretty flower here, yeah, I don't think we have used these big sprigs at all, funnily enough. But I mean, how pretty are they? They look gorgeous, don't they? Now, just wondering, do we want to... Oh, okay, sweetie. Yep. There you go, darling.
And gluing her clothes on.
Oh, nice. You can show us in a minute. Yeah. So I'm just going to cut these down because actually it's a little bit big for that corner. So just going to cut around here. Like that. Okay. And then what we could do is use this to tuck this in behind, if you see. So again, this is because this is quite thick. Obviously if it was something very flimsy, that's not going to work, but because this is quite thick, that's going to be, you know, easy to do and, you know, work really, really well. So just want to decide which way round to put it. I think I'm going to have it that sort of way. I might have to just cut this slightly smaller, so I'm just going to cut it down just a little bit. Okay, wow, I made that really horribly crooked. Let me just do it again. Like that. Okay. Just so I've got a little bit more room for my little flower closure to go there at the bottom. But how cute does that look? So what I'm going to do now is just take my household paint that I've been using throughout the rest of the journal, and then we can just literally paint around this page, because that's going to be then our writing surface. So I just want to lightly cover that text so that we've got the writing surface there. So let me just grab my household paint. Right, I'm back with my little bit of paint on here. So all I'm going to do is, again, just very lightly go over this page. You know, I'm really not trying to literally cover up every single bit of text or anything. I'm just trying to get a little bit of paint on there to make it, you know, a more journal friendly surface. Because of course, you know, I mean, you probably could write over the text, but I don't know, you know, how successful that would be. But if you just have a little bit of paint, and I mean, I have painted with household paint on journals for myself. I mean, I don't generally journal, as I say, but I've made a few holiday ones, and weirdly, the ones that I've made, I've always painted on. So, you know, I have found is fine. I tend to write with a biro, and that works fine. Obviously, I haven't tried it with other types of pens. you know, I don't know. But yeah, I've tried it, so, you know, definitely with a biro, and it works absolutely fine. So, and I just go over this bit here, just a little bit for, you know, tying it in between the two surfaces like that. Okay, so I just need to wait for that to dry now for a couple of minutes, and then all I'm going to do is, oops, sorry, just put that down behind me. All I'm going to do is, as we've done with the other pages, I'm just going to distress ink over the whole lot and stick the flower down. So I'll quickly go and dry this with my heat tool. Again, the heat tool, it's another one of those things that, you know, it's a very nice item to have. It's very handy. But, you know, I crafted for ages without having one. It's just literally, if you've got one, that's great. It makes your life easier, saves you waiting for things to dry. But, you know, you can make do without. So I'll be back in a minute. Right, so I'm back now from drying that off. It's not 100% dry, but it's, you know, it's pretty much, it's on its way. So I just love how this page looks. It's just come together so pretty. And all I'm going to do now is just ink over the whole lot. So again, just with my distress ink, very roughly going over the whole thing, making it all look yummy and vintage. Whoops. And, you know, like I say, this is because I'm going for a vintagey type look. If you don't want a vintage look, of course, you don't need to then, you know, do anything like this. But I just really like that kind of vintage look. And for me as well, it not only vintages it up. Gosh, I've made up a lot of words this video. But it also brings it together in a cohesive way, because if your colours aren't quite the same, or, you know, they're not the same at all, by using the distress ink, I find it's quite a nice way of getting it to look sort of matching, if you see what I mean, because it all then has a sort of I don't know, similar outline to it, I suppose, or a similar sort of feel to it. Right, still deciding now which way up to put my flowers. Right, I must crack on and decide here. So I think they're going to go like that. So I find this easiest to, if you see, this is down. So this is down as if it were tucked in behind here. And I've put this down where it would need to be on that page, if that makes sense. So what I like to then do is pick up the thing that's tucking in and the thing it's tucking into, pick them up together, holding them tight, because that tells me exactly where I need to glue. So again, I'm going to just use my hot glue because that's really nice and quick. Don't have to worry about it drying. And I'm just going to go round here like that. Now, of course, I don't want to go kind of too close to where my piece is tucking in, but just like that. And then I can just stick the whole thing down. And then fingers crossed, it's got the right amount of glue for the piece to just tuck into. So I hope that made sense. You know, and yeah, that just looks absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it? And then to put in here, we could just literally take another sheet of the paper and we'll just cut that like that. Okay, and just trim it down. Oh my gosh, my cutting skills are horrendous today. Look at that terrible job I've made of that edge. What is going on? Sometimes they're just worse than others. Right, okay. So that like that, and again, you could rough it up with your scissor edge. So this is just another sort of neat trick to, you know, bring another bit of sort of texture or different, I don't know, effect, I suppose, to your piece. So we just rough it up like that. I'm not even going to back this onto another piece of paper because this is quite thick. And because you could easily journal on this side, it's only pale. So, you know, there's no need, I don't think, to actually, you know, paint over it or anything. I'm just going to check, actually. Yep, I thought that might be the case. So now it's too big to actually put it into my pocket. So, yep, I'll have to trim it down again. Or, just wondering whether we might be able to make a little sort of foldy. So if I just fold that in half. Okay, so that then just tucks in like that. And again, what we'll do is just put something on there. So decide which way round I like it. So let's have it this way round. Again, just ink that up for that really nice kind of, you know, tied in effect. So we just ink it around everywhere. Like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to open it out and fold so as I've got it on the inside as well. And what I do is kind of put the ink here on that, you know, the folded edge. And then when you open it, it's got that sort of vintage look. Can you see there? You know, like where it's been folded, it's got the discoloured kind of fold, which, you know, I love that. So, right, we've got that there, and let's put something on here. I mean, again, it doesn't really need it, to be honest. It looks super pretty as it is, but let's put something on there. We maybe even could have a little word from the book. Do I have any words? Let me see. Hang on, the book's on the floor. Let me just grab that in. Definitely don't want the 5 bad boys. I mean, we could even have bedtime stories. Is that just weird? But I don't know. Let's just cut that down. I mean, again, horribly not straight. Otherwise worded as horribly crooked, but hey, why use the correct terminology when you can make up words and things? So, I mean, we could just even have it just like that. So I'm just going to glue that down there. Have you got my glue again, sweetheart? Thank you, darling. Oh, that's looking great. Right, so we're just going to glue that down here. Like that. Oh dear. Okay, and just press that down. And then we could then have, I did cut a little rose just now. Oh, where did I put that? Oh, there it is, like floating around. So then we could just have that maybe to the side or on the top. Oh, to be honest, I don't think it really looks quite right. It looked better without. So we could just leave it like that. And then what you could also do is you could add a couple more pages in there. So I'll take some of the lined paper that we coffee dyed and just fold that in half. And then to make my kind of book pages, just going to fold it up like that. And then like that. Okay, there is honestly, there is method in my madness here. I know this looks a very strange approach, but I'm going to just cut it down here like that. That's one set of pages. Then we've got another little set of pages here like that. Okay, let's bin those couple of bits, and then we can just put our pages in together. Like that.
I need to glue again.
Okay, sweetheart.
I'm just gluing into the
Okay, and I'm just going to trim them down at this edge because they're quite long for the piece. Okay, and they just go in there like that. So again, if you've got your sewing machine and you're happy to use it for your paper bits, you could then stitch down here. If you're not, or if you don't have a sewing machine, just take your stapler. So again, let me just get my stapler. Oh, just under the pile of stuff now. Right, and I just like to just fold in that edge so that I can, you know, the stapler will reach the centre, and then we can just staple that in like that. Okay, and the staples, you know, they look super cute. I mean, you can't even see them down the side. You're only going to see them when you open it, and, you know, they're not a big deal at all. So, I mean, you definitely don't need a sewing machine or anything for that bit. And then we can just tuck that little booklet in here, like that. I mean, this page looks so cute, doesn't it? And then the only other thing we've got is we've got a pocket here. So, again, what you could do is just literally you know, take something else. I mean, we could take even this butterfly. This was the one that I've been hoarding. And actually, now I look at it, I think, oh, why was I hoarding this? Because now look, what an awful one to have to cut out. Oh. This was the one that jumped out at me when I was looking through the books. Right, again, it's got this long bit here. I'm going to cut that bottom bit off in the hopes that this is going to kind of make it less like a child's colouring book image and more like a, you know, more grown-up butterfly. And then just again, cut around those little edges like that. Okie dokie. And there, just cut down there like that. Okay, cut around and then around here like that, and then just my last little bit here. Oh, come on, there we go. Right, how cute does that look? Really pretty, isn't it? I have to say, I'm not that keen on this shape of this butterfly. I wonder whether I could actually... I'm going to try and kind of cut that edge off. Because it just has that weird shape, doesn't it? Which kind of spoils it a little bit. Okay, right. So for me, that just looks a little bit nicer. So, oh, they're gorgeous, darling. Absolutely gorgeous. Did you want to show them? Okay, so what I'm going to do is take the striped paper, which then looks nice. Oh, look, she looks beautiful.
That's the mum.
Yeah, she looks lovely. Wow, very, very nice.
Teenager.
Oh, this is the teenager. Oh, I love her dress. Doesn't she look pretty? Gorgeous.
I'm going to do little kid.
Oh, good idea. Right, and then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this striped paper and just trim this down here. And again, you know, I'm just trying to do super easy and, dare I say, lazy ways of doing things in a journal that are all going to just save you a bit of time and make things come together really, really quickly. So if I just move my journal out of the way, all I'm going to do, I've taken my scrapbook paper from that double-sided paper pad. Again, I'm not over keen on this side. I probably wouldn't really use these hearts if I'm truthful. So all I'm going to do is make my journal card by folding this over. I've probably made this a bit small now, truth be known, but never mind. Woo! Hang on, dropped it on the floor. Okay, I've got that back. Have you still got my glue, darling? Can I just borrow it again, please? And then all I'm going to do is glue these up together like this. And, oh yeah, she's pretty, isn't she? Right, I'm just going to glue these together to make my journaling card. Okay, so take my glue spreader, which is my Starbucks reward card. Oh dear, obviously had something on there, so now I've marked the paper. Luckily it seems to be rubbing off quite well. Okay, go down there like that. I mean, again, even if you mark the card, to be honest, it doesn't really matter because, you know, I mean, this is a junk journal after all. And plus, you can probably cover it up. So my back, or, you know, the other side is unmarked, thankfully. So all I'm going to do is cut it down. Now, I tend to then cut in a little bit to the edge because the chances are my glue's not right up to the edge. So if I just go in a little fraction, hopefully I'm kind of cutting them where the glue actually is. Okay, well, another bit of shoddy cutting there. Okay. Right. Oh, well. It's not perfect, but it will do. And again, just go in this side as well. Okay. And then, again, just take my little butterfly, or quite a big butterfly actually, that I cut out, and I've got that other bit of that flower that we kind of cut out and cut off of the other flower. So, I mean, we could even kind of try and layer it up somehow so we've got that flower in the background there. to make a pretty journaling card. Again, we could use some of the painted book page that we did. Oops. So you could just kind of layer that up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on here. Have you got my glue again, sweetheart? Can I pour it again, please? Thank you, darling. So, thank you, darling. Just going to pop this down. If it decides to come out. There we go. I'll just hang on to it for a moment because I'm just going to be doing a couple of things. Thank you, darling. Right, so we just then spread this down like that. Okay, looking good. Okie dokie. And then take this flower piece. I mean, again, could actually even stick it on the edge and then cut that down. And that then looks kind of perhaps better. So I'm just going to do that. So again, just going in with my tacky glue here. Just want to get it here on this edge. And then obviously I don't know really where it's going to be here. So what I'm going to do is put the glue just here on the edge of here, on the edge of the journaling card. Like that. Okay, and then actually it wanted to hang off a bit, didn't it? Okay. Like that. Okay. Whoops. Oh dear, that leaf's now broken off of there. But again, it doesn't really show up too much, so it's fine. Right, okay. And then I can just trim this down here on the side, and like that. I mean, that just looks so pretty, you know, with nothing else even on there. It just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? But of course we then can finish it off just with this pretty butterfly. I've got that little flower somewhere. I wonder if we could put that little flower just in the middle of that butterfly. Oh, that looks so cute, doesn't it? Yeah, really, really pretty. So let's just pop this on here. Like that. Okay. And then just pop this one down in the middle of that butterfly. I mean, just little touches like this, it just kind of takes that butterfly from being that, you know, that children's book piece that we've cut out, you know, to it just straight away looks much better, doesn't it? So, I mean, actually in hindsight, I probably could have cut that little piece off. In fact, my glue's not dry, so I can still do that. So I'm just going to cut that little pointy bit off and then pop that down again. And, you know, that looks quite a sort of sophisticated butterfly now, doesn't it? And yet, obviously, in the children's colouring book, it really didn't look anything kind of all that at all, did it? So again, just going to go round with my Distress ink all around the whole thing. Oops. That then just brings everything together really nicely. Like that. Okay. Gorgeous. And then just on the back as well. So like that. Okay. Oh look, I forgot and didn't do it on the piece that I'd marked on the back. I should have done it this way round, and then we'd have probably covered up a lot of that, because we could have done it that way up, but never mind, it doesn't matter. So that's my journaling card. And again, like I say, if you've got little corner rounders, you could then round the corners or anything like that. But hopefully that's just going to tuck here into my pocket. I might need to just trim it down slightly. So again, just trim off at the bottom. Like that. And I'll just ring that. Like that. You know, and again, if you're happy to use your sewing machine now, you could obviously stitch around there to just finish that journaling card off. I mean, I think it looks perfectly pretty anyway. I don't think it necessarily needs, you know, stitching around there, but if you wanted to, you know, that's kind of quite a nice way to finish it. So that just tucks into that little side pocket like that. So that's our double page spread there for today. And yeah, I mean, it just looks so pretty. And to be honest, we're using quite basic supplies, quite basic methods, but you know, it looks absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it? I mean, of course, it always helps if you've got some sort of pretty papers, you know, some sort of flowers, you know, and I mean, butterflies, they're always obviously a good option. But yeah, I hope that this is giving you lots of ideas and, you know, filling you with kind of the urge to go off now and, you know, create your journal. So yeah, we really are getting quite a nice journal coming together. And yeah, really liking how it's looking now. So I hope that you like it, and I hope you're having fun doing the pages that we've done. And yeah, give it a go if you haven't quite made any, you know, so far. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon. Thanks then. Bye.